Welcome back to another episode of Tractor Roy. As always, my name is Trent. Today I am going to be starting to work on this thing. I got to get it all ready for hay season. First thing I got to do is change out the fuel pump. Got a battery sitting on the charger for it. Hasn't been started all winter since last year, so I got to swap out this fuel pump on there. The one I got's leaking. Work on the head over here. I think other than just replacing the fuel pump and fixing this issue with my key stock on the head, that should be all I have to do to this thing. I'll probably go through and check the knives and guards while I'm at it, but this thing was running decently other than those two issues. It was leaking fuel pretty good as I was driving along with it. So while I'm in here messing around with it, I'll probably add a light bar up here, get rid of these lights, fix some of this wiring on it. I don't really cut at night very often, but when it starts getting dark in the evening, sometimes I'm trying to push it just to finish up a field, and it'd be very nice to be able to see, because I think only one of these things work, and it's not much more than the flashlight on your phone. So it'd be nice to have something that's actually showing me what's going on. Here is the culprit in question, and as you can imagine, it's not really good for a leaking fuel pump. It's not a very good place for it. It was leaking out of this here. Oh, what does that tell us? The diaphragm's probably bad, so I might have to either change the oil or drain it off. We got some good leaks. Need to replace that valve cover gasket. Oh well, that's issues for next year. What else we got? Fuel pump, obviously we got to check. This stuff, as much as I hate it, it still works. I want to say that's just the advance for the distributor. Like instead of a mechanical advance in the points, I think it's electronic. I could be wrong on that, but what's the point of having all this other than that? So this is fairly easy. I've had it off once before when I was trying to order one, but they ordered the wrong part. It's just take off this hose clamp, take off that hose that goes to the fuel tank, and my bowl is shut off. One time I did not shut off the bowl, and since the fuel tank sits higher than the carburetor on this one, it flowed through the fuel pump and drained the carburetor, or in through the carburetor, and filled up the engine with like twice as much fluid as it needed. Added that much gasoline to it. I think it was like a 5-gallon bucket full. Then I just have to take off this fitting, and there's 2 bolts, and that thing pops off. My new one's got a replacement gasket for it, so it'll be easy. Ow! I thought it'd be easy, but boy, that kind of hurt. Gosh, skinned my knuckle pretty good. I don't remember if there's a rod in here, like on the Chevys, that actuates it, or if this sits right up against the cam. The Chevy, like, small blocks are a pain because that rod goes up at an angle about like that to push up against the cam, and then it pushes against the plunger rod. This one, I'm kind of hoping that it pushes up against the cam. Yep, looks like it does. So, there's my fuel pump. Yep, sits right there. Got to double check if my new one's going to work. Nothing worse than getting something torn apart and realizing you have the wrong one. But this is a heck of a lot easier to get to. Oh yeah. Like that. We're a little bit taller. I don't think that matters. Yeah. Looks like we will fit. Now I just got to try and get this old gasket off of here. Actually, I should make sure I actually have new ones. And I do actually have new ones. You know what's funny is there's paint on this gasket, just like there's paint on that fuel pump. So I bet you that is original to this thing. I'm putting this gasket on dry only for the fact that I don't have any gasket sealer with me. It's over in the shop. Boy, look at that brand spanking new pump. That looks pretty good. I probably should pressure wash this thing off too. Get rid of all this gunk. See if I can see where it's leaking. I kind of just imagine it's that, well, blowing out right here, so we'll probably have some blow by. And then I bet you just that valve cover gas is leaking. This thing runs pretty good though, engine-wise. Haven't had any issues with it. Not like that Owatonna with that Ford 300 or the Ford inline 6. For some reason, I was having a horrible time. That distributor's all worn out. I had to replace it. Carburetor was so bad, couldn't find a replacement for the industrial carburetor or a rebuild kit, so I just had to get a new carburetor for it off of Amazon, and that actually worked really well. Ever since I replaced that, thing works great. Can't tell you how many hours I fought that. Now that was just easy peasy, honestly. Very quick to replace the fuel pump. I kind of like working on this equipment, both swathers and tractors, because the engines are just like, everything's right here. There's nothing in the way. It's not like a vehicle where, at least the older ones, you can like climb up inside the engine bay, but on newer vehicles, like you got to hang upside down over the, like from the ceiling basically to work on anything. So it's refreshing working on this kind of stuff. So now, I guess, I got to wait for that battery to charge. I'll fire this thing up. It hasn't been started since last year, but I don't really expect any issues. It might take a little bit to get that carburetor primed up. But this one's a little bit better because it's a gravity-fed tank. This Owatonna, that tank sits down here, so that pump has to like pick up prime, and that's a pain. So that one, I need to put an electric fuel pump on that one. But I don't really see any issues with this thing. I'm going to go take it over to the shop, which is like a mile that way. Then I'll work on that head, because that key slot is wallowed out and I can't find parts for it somewhat cheap and locally. So I'm going to clean it up so it fits on there right. And then I'm just going to drill a hole and stick a piece of like drill rod in there as a keyway instead, kind of replace the new one. I could weld it up and cut a new one in, which I might do that in the future, but I don't have a lathe and I'd rather do that myself than, I don't know, I like doing that kind of stuff myself, and it gives me an excuse to get a lathe. So I'm hoping this around keyway will get me by until I can fix it more permanently, I guess, but honestly it's probably going to be pretty dang permanent. So let's do that. My seat's starting to look a little rough. I got this inner tube that you sit on there, but I think it blew off. Dang it. Okay, I've got the oil checked, coolant level I topped off. Got our fuel on. Thing hasn't been started since last summer. Let's see what it does. Give her a little choke, a little throttle. Might take a second to prime that new fuel pump too. Oh. Oh, I hate this part. Dang, that was easy. The adjustment's not quite right. If you noticed when that e-brake was on, it turns it just a hair. This is the one that when we were loading it up, it drove off the trailer and the head popped off. Looking back, it was kind of funny, but it was pretty scary at the time. I need to try and get these gauges working. I got a temp gauge that doesn't work, the fuel gauge doesn't work. The hour meter probably doesn't. And I think I just have an oil pressure light. I should like mount it, the gauge somewhere. Should go through this. Let's see. looks like I got one broken guard. Got a broken tooth down on that end. Everything else looks good. I'll have to see if any of them chipped or whatnot. Okay, we're going to keep this video rolling. I think I finished that a couple of weeks ago. I've got a video on redoing this where I took all that apart. The only thing I did different was I took a Dremel and some sandpaper and cleaned up the inner hub of, well, anyways, I cleaned up the inner surface and the outer surface, because where that keyway had gotten loose, it like peeled some metal over, so I couldn't get it seated all the way. So that was part of my issue, why that key stock kept breaking. So I cleaned it up and then got it seated all the way on there, and then just drilled a hole and stuck in some bar stock as a key instead of a square key stock. Stuck it all back together, ran the swather. That's holding up pretty good. I'm hoping that it's just going to stay that way. If it doesn't, then I'm welding that hub on. I started looking at it, and this gear that's right here, I can take it off even if that hub is welded on. So I can, that was my biggest worry, is just replacing that. And then if I have to do anything else inside of here, I'm pretty sure I just have to take this whole auger out. So I don't think welding that down there will hurt me any, because I can still replace that sprocket. Anything else, I have to pull it out anyways. So I might weld it if I end up running into more issues. So I did find two things that I have to replace. Over here on the conditioner, I've got an idler with a ton of play, an idler sprocket. And that chain probably could be replaced. It's probably stretched out too, but I got a new sprocket for that because it was starting to squeal and make some just awful noise. So I'm going to replace that. And then over here on this end of things, where is it? Right there. You can see how my guard is broken. That is not because I hit a rock or anything. This sickle bar, I don't know where it is. There's a little dog leg in it somewhere. I don't know what I hit, but it goes along, and it's probably like a good ½ inch jog in it. So I got to take, this is a 2-piece, one half that way, one half this way. So I got to pull it out, take off my drive end, and a lot of these are pretty new, don't have many acres on them. Take those off. Then I got to take one of my extra bars over here and knock off every one of those sections and replace it with some fresh ones. And what else? Oh, I got a new temp gauge for that thing. Bless you. I got a new temp gauge for that thing. I'm going to throw up there too. I haven't had any issues with this thing overheating. I just want to make sure I keep track of it, stop it before anything happens. So that's what I'm going to start working on. Probably start with the sprocket. It looks easiest. This thing should be pretty straightforward, so that's why I'm doing it first. As soon as I say that, probably won't be, but let's see. We got a nut, a washer, guard, another washer, our sprocket. Ooh, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Make sure we match close enough. Oh yeah, same one. Nice. Oh yeah, there's no play on this one. That's better. So, slide that little fella on there. Now our washer. Now our plate. Oh, yeah, we are hitting the sides of this plate. Whether it's because we have so much slack in our chain because it's worn, or it's because that bearing was worn. Oh yeah, let's tighten up all the way on our slack. Probably need to replace this chain. Well, my sickle bar is stuck back in there. Replaced a bunch of sections that I needed. I ended up just straightening out that old one, and I think it's going to work okay. So I replaced my guard. I replaced a bunch of those sections that needed changed out. Unfortunately, my water temp gauge was not long enough. So I left the old one in and I ordered one that should be here tomorrow. I did get my light bar stuck in there and hooked up, so hopefully I'll be able to see this summer if I start doing it at night. My lights were replacing the bulbs in them, so when I'm going down the highway taking this thing into town, people can see me. The swather's all cleaned up, pulled into town now. I went through on this rake. I had 38 of them that were either missing or had both sides broken off. I didn't count the ones that only have one because they're still kind of there, but it turns out the guy that we get a lot of these tractors from, he had a bunch of these, gave me a good deal for $4 a piece on them, which is like less than half of what they are new. So I replaced 38 of them, and I need to just buy all the rest that he has. That's because that's the guy that his dad had a little parts stuff, like he'd sell tractor parts, he'd sell things like rake teeth and sickle sections and sickle bars and stuff. So I got to pick up a couple of sickle bars from him. Anyways, he's just kind of clearing everything out. So this rake should be good to go once I grab a couple of tires. That one, as you can see, is no good, and that one's down to the band. And we're going to throw it behind the M. It's on the C right now just to move it around, but the M's got better hydraulics. And this Farmhand C is actually kind of cool. I've got this auxiliary valve. Apparently these are kind of on the rare side. They're slow because they're only a 1/4 inch port. But I kind of want to hook it up, get the lever. We might have some missing pieces to this still. But I kind of want to get it set up because run a set of hoses back so I can at least use the rake. It might grunt it a little bit and some heavy hay, but it could be cool. And let's see, the D17, we fixed the charging system on it. Turns out we just didn't wire up that voltage regulator. And then I think we replaced this hose right here and a couple of fittings that were leaking. I got my hydraulic pickup hooked up. I fixed the hoses. The tongue popped off, or the baler popped off last year and broke a hose. But I got that fixed. I got to fill up the gearbox because when it drained out, I had to replace those bearings when I first got this thing, the input seal and input bearings. And ever since I stuck that together, I don't know how to seal it. So it just leaks out. So I just got to make sure I keep it topped off. You can see a little puddle of oil under it. But we ran 60 bales through this thing, and it's done fantastic so far. So this thing will be good to go. And then we're going to have this little New Holland Super 55 for some of the small fields. I don't know if we'll pull that behind the C or the A. The C is a little more comfortable just because it's bigger. Oh, it's getting dark out. Just because it's bigger tires, so it's more comfy. This A kind of bounces you around a whole lot. So that's the haying situation. I just got the swather pulled into town tonight. It takes an hour because it goes about 14 miles an hour, and it's like 14 miles in town. So it's in town. I'm going to start cutting some stuff tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be better about filming things this year because I got a lot of hay to cut, and it's all going to happen in like this next couple of weeks. Pretty much everything just hits all at once, which is fine. Gets it over with. I don't really want to be doing it in the fall. So anyways, if you enjoyed this episode, seeing that swather get all fixed up, make sure to subscribe below if you're not. Hit that thumbs up button, throw a comment down below if there's something you want to see. And we're getting ready for hay. So hope I'll catch you on the next one.